Right, so this is going to be a guide on the Endless Tower instance, which is located in Alberta. You have to go like this, in order to get there. Endless Tower has 100 levels, so technically the name is misleading. You get there by talking to this guy right here, pay him 10,000 Senu. Every 5th level has an MVP on it. And now before you enter, you should make sure that you have a couple of things, such as resistance potions, elemental converters. You want a couple of indestructible armor pieces if you can. And you would also like to have all the different elements, such as evil, aqua, unfrozen, deadly, fire, and Sephiroth. Wherever my Sephiroth. Right, here we go. Yeah. Alright, let's go. If you leave the instance, you will not be able to get back in. Right, make sure you have your consumables. It's a very long instance, so in my case 100 poison bottles, awakening potions, mastellas, buff food. You'd want to have some green potions as well, and some tokens of Siegfried if you can afford them, because if you die you will not be able to go back in. Same thing if you leave. You would also want an indestructible weapon, by the way. Same thing with almost, and a helm if you can, like if you have one. Now, I don't actually have mine with me, which is a bit of a shame. But it should be alright anyway, I think. Right, okay. Let's do this then. Right. The first couple of levels is pretty easy, so there's not much to say. You just go through them. If you're lucky, you might find some loot or whatever. Like this. So yeah, some pourings and shit like that. Let's turn this volume down because it's a bit loud. Now you have, I believe it's 4 hours to finish this instance. It's plenty of time, even if you're alone. You have to kill every mob on every floor to go to the next one. Alright. Desert wolves, blah blah blah. I don't bother using EDP on the first levels because it's a waste of money really. Everything dies in one hit anyway. It's decent EXP in here. Drop wise, there's a couple of floors with decent drops. Like this one here, Archer Skeleton cards are pretty useful, and Soldier Skeleton. The rest are kind of but... recommend anyone that is like, you need to be at least 120 or so to have a good chance of doing this solo. Depending on your gear obviously, but if you're really good gear then you're probably not going to be watching my guide anyway. Because then you'll know what you're doing on your own. If you feel like I've missed anything when I'm done with this, please let me know and I'll see if I can help. Alright, okay. So, first MVP coming up is Golden Thief Bug. Now you want to be wearing fire armor, and for those of you playing physical classes, be very very careful, because he has Reflect Shield, and he's also weak to water. So you do Water Converter, and also try to kill off all the bugs before you get to him, because otherwise they can loot if he were to drop a card. As you can see, this is a little bit painful. We'll lure him away. There's a big chance I will die here. Okay, he's dead. No call. Pity. Right. Okay, moving on. You can loot insect villagers and sell them to people for money. Because there's people who buy it, same thing with sticky mucus and a lot of other, I'm not gonna call it crap, I'm gonna say vendor loot. There's people who buy it for quests and whatnot. Now a run like this, to get to like level 80 for me takes about an hour, so this will be a fairly long video. You can just skip ahead if you just want to see the MVPs. Right. Nothing really special about these normal floors yet anyway, so won't really be saying much here. It's exactly what it looks like, you just kill all the mobs. Most of the time they don't even hit you back, so... I would recommend things like Soul Collector's Armor, because you'll be killing a lot of mobs and you don't really want to run out of SP. At least for a GX. Certain classes will have problems soloing this, such as priests and wizards. Mage classes overall are not, like, I find GX and Ranger coupled with maybe Royal Guards or Rune Knights to be very good classes for soloing this for various reasons, because they're durable. On this floor, Firelock Soldier cards are worth quite a bit of money. Should you find one, well, good job, congratulations. Outside of that, the cruiser cards, I mean, they have some value, but it's very, very low. Firelock Soldier cards, however, they'll bring in some money, so that's pretty cool. Right. Okay, level 9. Now, if you're unlucky, these guys can break your armor or your weapon, I can't remember which one, so be very careful about that. I believe it's your weapon, but I'm not 100% sure, but... If you can avoid close combat with them, you should, and just kill them with ranged in some way, just to be on the safe side. Because, as I said, if you do break some stuff here, then, well, you can't really leave and go back in. Right, they hide mobs here, so there's one, and there's one more somewhere. Ah, here we go, right. Okay, so next up is Mistress, if I'm not mistaken, which would be Sephiroth's Armor. And we'll go Liberate. Keep in mind she does agility up, so you'd want to kill her as soon as possible, or have at least like a chance to crit, to make sure you don't screw yourself, and she is weak towards Earth, alright? So Earth Converter and Sephiroth's Armor would be the ideal way to deal with this one. Right, there's some honey and some other fun stuff here that you can... Ah, here we go. And she's down. Now, she's very fragile, but if you take too long to kill her, she will agi up and you will not be able to hit her without crits. I've tried even with as much as 700 hit and it's not happening. It's really not. So, loot the honey, if you find any. Wind of Ardor is also pretty decent, as you can sell it to other people, or it has its uses. Bee stings as well. I don't loot them because I can't be bothered, but I would recommend you to do it. Here we go, some honey here. And royal jellies are pretty decent as well. Alright. Switching back to Soul Collector, because I don't want to run yeah, there's quite a few ranged mobs here, and this can be a pain in the ass for GX. So what you want to do is use a Dark Illusion to get into the bunch, and then basically just... there's some good loot here as well. Man-Eater Roots and Man-Eater Blossoms and Elder Branches are all worth picking up. I would do like this with Elder Branch, there we go. Right. Now there's a trick to this, because you're gonna get overburdened really fast. It's basically pick up one of all the items that you want to loot, which means you'll be able to loot just those items and you won't accidentally pick up a lot of junk that you don't actually want. So that's pretty decent. Right. I mean, obviously if you find a card somewhere, pick it up, because cards are cards, but they're not... Like on this floor, unless I mention them, they don't really have any significant value. As a GX, you should make like use of backslide. In this instance, it's very useful to like gather up all the mobs, like I'm doing right now. So you can do this, and then you just basically backslide, because even if they're hitting you, you can still backslide. And apparently I left a mob behind. Oh well. EXP wise in the beginning, it's not so much. Most levels have useless cards anyway. It's definitely an interesting instance. Here you can pick up Ogre Tooth and Orcish Vouchers, which are useful. You can sell them to other players. I see Orcish Voucher, and there should be Ogre Tooth. Right. The reason for this is Rune Knights will use them to make runes, and Orcish Vouchers are used for a lot of things, including, but not limited to, Mora quests and various other creations. So they're in high demand. They will always be in high demand. But yeah, there's some ranged mobs here. It gets better a bit higher up, but they don't hit super hard, so if you're a bit careful, shouldn't be a problem. Right. Okay, level 15 is Maya and Feroni with ants. Doesn't really matter what armor you wear. Keep in mind though, Maya can break your armor, so I would say that you should be wearing something that's indestructible for your own sake. But aside from that, it's they're weak to fire, that's pretty much it. So you do Fire Converter. Alright. Try to lure them away, because the ants can steal your shit otherwise. Like this. Right. Come on. Oh yeah, she silences too, I forgot about that. Come on. I try to lure them away because I don't really want to, because if an ant loots the Maya card, for example, it can actually disappear into the ant's normal loot table, and then you will not get it back even if you kill the ant that took the card. So, which means that if a Maya card drops and an ant steals it, there's a big chance that you will never see that card again. Which, well, would be tragic to say the least. Feroni, same deal here. He does Stone Curse, he hits pretty lame, like, he doesn't actually do any real damage, so, I mean, you should be able to kill him. If you've killed Mistress, you shouldn't have any problems killing these. There we go, see, he's down. What did he drop? Some star. He can drop Fortune Sword, which is pretty nice. You can use it because he has 25 perfect dodge, if you're lucky. That it drops to me. But aside from that, the loot table is pretty shitty here as well. But these are low level MVPs so far, so it's to be expected. Why do these ants run away? Alright. It is a bit of a botheration because you do have to kill everything. Like every little mob. Alright. Switching back. Now here, it's ranged again. Ultra Skeleton cards are pretty decent, as I said before. They're the only real cards of value on this floor. Orc Ultra is pretty junk, Gargoyle is junk. They will annoy the fuck out of you though, because they do have knockback, but you can do like this, Cross Reaper Slasher, kill them one by one. It's not ideal, but they, instead of being annoyed as fuck because you can't reach them. So, I mean, another option is to do, what's it called? Oh my god, Hallucination Walk, or Backslide upwards, you can do this. Or Dark Illusion to reach them, but they can knock you back should you do this, so just be careful so you don't get cornered. Because I am wearing a Deviling right now, which is why I'm not really taking a lot of damage. Alright. There's some Skull Bones here if you want to pick those up. This floor, it drops Big Berries. Baphomet Junior cards are kind of decent. I mean, they're not worth a high amount of money, but there is some value. I think it's like 2 mil or 3 mil maybe. Aside from that, Big Berries definitely a must pick if you should find them. Same thing with Big Seeds, I'm pretty sure they drop those too. Outside of that, pretty uninteresting level. EXP wise, I mean I am 172, so this floor has absolutely nothing of interest. There's some Oridicons that drops, but the cards are junk. and there's no real other loot otherwise. Fen card and Swordfish cards have pretty good value here. Swordfish card is about, I don't know, maybe 10 to 20 million, and Fen card is all the way up towards 80 if you're lucky, so keep an eye out for those in case they would drop, because a lot of people will want them, and they do sell. I mean, I'm still selling them as soon as I find them, which granted isn't often, but it does happen. So yeah, definitely look out for those two cards. The Megalodon Gold and the Device Gold are kind of meh, but the Fen and Swordfish, or you can just save the Swordfish really, because it gives your armor the water, like you turn into water element, which is pretty useful. Okay, next one up is Drake. Now this is a royal pain in the ass, because he will break your armor. So you need to wear an indestructible armor aqua. I recommend Valkyrian armor, because it gives 1+ all stats, it's cheap, easy to get, and you put a Swordfish card in it, right. Also a water protection potion. Aside from that, he will cast Agi upon himself if you're not able to kill him fast enough, which means you will have to start critting him to kill him, and he will nuke you with Water Ball. And it's not going to stop unless you die or he dies, right? So, yeah. It's not a fun fight to do. Fire Elemental, Fire Convoltal, unless you have access to Holy, which I assume if you're soloing here you won't. You can use Hallucination Walk to help you against this Water Ball. Make sure you're not wearing Deviling Armor, Deviling... there we go. Ow, ow, ow. And you also cast Agi down, yep. Yeah, there we go, he's casting Agi up on himself. And he's trying to strip my armor, so destroy it. There we go, he's dead. Right. His card is extremely valuable, up towards 15 billion should it drop. I'm hoping for whoever watches this sake that it does, because congratulations then, you just made a fuck ton of money. Fabrics, Scale Bones, all really neat things to have. You can bring Yggdrasil's Dusts to remove the Agi down. It's one of the few things in the game that can actually remove that. It's consumable. I'll happily give you some should you need them. So that's the Drake fight. The rest of the mobs here are pretty, their card is shite as well. They do drop Scale Bones, which is nice. Again, you can sell them to other players. Make some money like that. Outside of that, there's no loot that is actually interesting here either, except for his card and the Scale Bones. Plasmas, they all have different elements, and it's really annoying to kill them, because I mean they're not super dangerous, but you won't be able to just kill them with one element. You will have to, like right now you see, because my weapon is fire enchanted, I won't be able to kill all of them, so I will have to use another Convoltal to be able to kill them. Right. And now we're getting somewhere. Right, changing over almost again. A lot of interesting loot on this floor. Well, not valuable cards per se, but there is stems and there. Oh my. Right. There's stems and there are Man-Eater blossoms and Man-Eater roots, which again is very valuable. Well, not valuable, but useful, I would say, to other players. So you can sell them and make some money. I would suggest doing this, just backsliding your way up here, because they will root you and they will annoy you and they will do all kinds of nonsense. There's also Drosera Tentacle, which is pretty decent. For some reason I can't seem to hit the Mandragoras. Right, okay. This noise is annoying, I apologize for that. Right. I had the wrong element on my weapon, which is why I couldn't hit them. 40k, that's interesting. Right. But yeah, Drosera Tentacles is still like 500,000 or something like that. A bit less if you're trying to sell them fast. Hydra Calls, they used to be really valuable, but they're not anymore. Let's see at this level, right. Okay. I'm not picking up the stems mainly because, well, I'm lazy. You should, however, because they are valuable. Just a few things I picked up here, but... Right. This level, Phänomena Calls, very valuable. Halt of Mermaid, Swordfish Called. That's pretty much it. We'll drop out the sticky mix there. Yeah, Phänomena Calls, basically, they're very sought after. So, should you get one, pick it up, it's useful. Same thing with Swordfish Called. Excuse me. Right, Heart of Mermaids as well, you can sell it all. Agri clothing, alright. You can sell it out of flyers. I think it's about 12k each or 11k each, maybe something like that. Alright, Tarot cards, decent. Joker cards, not so much. Yak cards, absolutely garbage. I mean, they're useful, but they're not really worth anything. If you're lucky, these can drop old card albums, but it's such a low chance, it's not really something worth mentioning, to be honest. It's about the same chance as the called. Alright, aside from that, just Cloud Spirit, level 25. Moonlight Flower, MVP, she can strip every single thing that you have. She casts all different spells, so it doesn't really matter what armor you wear. My advice is to kill her really quickly. She can one-shot you with Ammonite if you're not careful. And yeah, we'll do like this. Liberation. She is weak to water, by the way, so use the water converter to kill her. These are her ads, Captain Ninetails. There are some decent drops here, like Royal Jellies and Oedicons and some other stuff, but nothing too exciting. There's some Dead Branches as well. There's Moonlight Flower right there, which is the yellow version of all of these. She doesn't have a lot of HP, so she's not very difficult to kill. If you have low dex and low luck, I would be careful though. And AoE is not a good idea against her. Yeah, she does Dispel as well. And she's dead, right. Not before dispelling my buffs though. Right. Well, that's Moonlight, her card, about 2 billion, give or take. It's not a super popular card, nor it's super useful right now anyway. Panacea, decent to pick up, I guess. I mean, there are better places to get them, but why not? There we go. They cure just about every debuff that you have, more or less. Not every, but most of them. Right. Switching back. Cards, Enchanted Peach Tree, the rest is pretty nonsense. Royal Jellies can drop here as well as Dead Branches. Outside of that, nothing really interesting, to be honest. Enchanted Peach Tree is what, maybe 8 million or 10 million as a card? Keep in mind these are like rough estimate of prices at this current point when I'm making this video. So prices could fluctuate a little bit. But just to give you a rough idea of where the card is at. Right, nothing interesting here. Absolutely nothing interesting on this level whatsoever. All the cards are nonsense, they drop no loot whatsoever that is useful. Yeah, just basically kill them and move on. Like, I've gotten their card a few times here and it's just, it's a disappointment because when you do get a card you want it to have some form of use. It has no value and the use is very, very limited. Same thing here. Garbage level. There's Kukri Codes, which is 2 agility. Pre-renewal it used to be pretty decent, but now it's just complete nonsense. Right. Whisper cards, you don't use fire converters here. Pick up fabrics, and basically whisper cards and dark frame cards and fabric, that's pretty much what you're looking for on this level. And you need a fire converter as well. I mean, you don't technically need to because you can like kill the whispers anyway, but it'll take you longer than you wanted to. Right, there's one mob here somewhere that's hiding probably. Or it's up here. No? Okay. Did I miss it? There we go. Right. Right, level 30. This is White Lady. She's weak against Earth and she casts Water Ball just like Drake. She does not have IG up, but you need a water armor anyway. You don't have to have an indestructible one, but a water armor is a must-have or you will die. Guarantee it. It hurts a lot. So you do cold proof potion, you do Earth, and then you see if we can lure her down. There she is, White Lady. Her card is extremely valuable. Should you get that? She's fairly hard to hit as well because she has a bit of flee. So she's gonna start nuking me with Water Ball in a second now. Yeah, she heals herself with Sanctuary as well. She's not casting Water Ball for whatever reason. She normally does. I'm not sure why she's not doing it right now. Yeah, here we go. Right. Okay, this is with... Yeah, it hurts quite a bit even with Water Protection Potion and Water Armor. Here we go. No cold. Alright. That's her. That's basically the only thing that's interesting on this level is her card. The rest is just junk, to be honest. Right, we'll do Malicious, we'll do Deviant. So... I'm just gonna AoE the rest here just to be able to move on. Their cards aren't, like the Wicked Nymph cards are just junk as well. Iron Fist card here is very valuable, we're talking like 100 mil plus. But that's pretty much the only thing as well. The rest is just nonsense. There's Panaceas. Card-wise, Agiop has some uses, but it's not really that interesting either. Right. Same thing as the last Goblin level. It's just like this floor is so uninteresting. It's just, it's sad really. There shouldn't be floors that are like this, but for some reason there are, so just have to deal with that. It literally doesn't matter what drops on this floor, it's absolute nonsense. Same thing with this floor. I mean, the Cobalt card has some uses, but value-wise it's very low, and the Cobalt Ultra card is complete nonsense as well. Blue here's you can actually pick up, because they're used by Rune Knights to create runes, so there is a little bit of a market for them, I would imagine. Not a whole lot, but I mean, you might as well if you're in here anyway. I mean, I'm using Greed, so, oh god, I'm getting trapped. Right. There we go. Just gonna pull. For some reason they seem to have issues following me, I'm not sure why that is. Flame Skull. Giant Whisper card is so. Skulls, fabrics. There's some uses for them. Nothing major really, but I'd say Whisper card is probably the best thing on this floor. Should you find one? Right, level 35. Now, if I'm not mistaken, this should be Turtle General. I could be wrong. No, this is Turtle General, right. He casts Water Ball as well. And he also destroys your weapon. This is where you need to have a Golem carded weapon at the very least, or a Randgris card, or some form of weapon that is indestructible. My personal recommendation is get a Thanatos Kata if you're a GX, that is cheap, and put a Golem card in it. It doesn't get much cheaper than that, and it has decent attack damage as well. So, and you want to be wearing a Aqua Armor. Now this guy doesn't destroy your armor, so that's not a problem. Get a water protection potion. He's weak towards fire, so fire converter. Make sure you're not wearing Deviling, because that will screw you up big time. He will cast Agi Up, at which point you will have to crit him down again. So we'll do converter, attack speed, EDP. Right. Now, there's some other stuff here. Nothing really interesting like the cards here, except for Turtle General card is just not very... There's literally no... I mean, there's gunpowder that drops here, that's decent, but aside from that, it's pretty... I'm gonna go with on a scale of 1 to 10, it's like 1. Right, yeah, see gunpowder. I'm actually going to loot this. If I can find somewhere to... There we go, right, okay, let's see if we can pull him away from everything else. We'll do Dark Claw on him. He's gonna Agi up any second, I believe. There we go, he's Agi up now, and he's trying to remove my weapon. He does cast Sonic Blow, but that's not really too much of a concern, because he usually misses with it. Except for there where he actually hit me. He does have quite a bit of health, so I'll have to use a couple of Mastellas to make sure I don't die here. Oh, he's hitting me a lot, there we go, and he's dead. So any card? No. Well, didn't exactly expect to get one, but who knows. Right, so that's TG, malicious, Now these are not aggroing you, so you're gonna have to try and chase these down one at a time, which is a little bit of annoyance, but it's not that big of a deal really. Takes a few seconds extra. Alright, so that's that level. Here you can get alligator cards, which are worth a bit, and Kaga maces, so if you find a mace drop from these, that's a Kaga mace, it does have some value, it's a pretty good weapon. Aside from that, a new land card is pretty shitty, so alligator card or Kaga mace is what you'll be wanting to look for on this level. Now, if my commentary is a bit of a nuisance, you can always just turn it off if you just want to watch the run. Basically just saying these things to help people who don't actually know it, so that's the whole point of this run anyway. Right, this level completely uninteresting. Like, there's Clock Tower Manager card, or Keeper. Yeah, it's Tower Keeper, sorry. But even then, that's still pretty... no real value here. Right. I'm not saying you shouldn't loot, but I wouldn't be super excited if something dropped here anyway, because it's... well... No drops whatsoever here of any interest. Careful though, they do hit pretty hard. Especially, like this is with Deviling, so be careful. Like if you just rush in, even with Deviling, you can actually die. Right. Regular mobs. No real drops here are worth mentioning. These mobs, you will have to crit them to kill them because their flee is absurdly high, but they have no real health to speak of. They're really fast. same time to chase them with my cursor, it's a bit difficult because they're really fast. Right, okay. Next mob is Samurai Spectre. Now this guy is not to be trifled with. He doesn't actually have a proper element that you need to care for. Because you should not use a converter unless you can go holy, which I doubt you will if you're soling. He does break your helm, your shield, and your armor. So, if you're wearing a shield, make sure it's indestructible, make sure your armor is indestructible. I would personally recommend something like evil armor if you have one, I guess. Or maybe holy or some shit like that, but make sure it's indestructible, because he will break it otherwise. Now, I'm actually going to be removing my helmet, just in case, because I don't want to risk him destroying it. So I'll be doing this, right, which seems strange, but since I forgot about my helmet that is indestructible, not going to risk it breaking. He does not break weapons though, so that's not really a problem. And he does Aggie up later on, so be careful with that. So no converter on this guy, right. Deviling is actually pretty good here, because he hits really hard and really fast with his normal attacks. So do this, and we'll do this, and we'll do this. Right. Just Antique Firelord Soldier is pretty decent. Oh, here we go. Yep. Oh god, he's provoked me. We need to have even less health. Like, come on. He's gonna add you up any second now, at which point I'll have to start critting him to be able to hit. Here we go. And he's trying to strip me. Make sure you keep using yeah, I was gonna say he hits me really hard. There we go, he's down. Drops Ygberries, which is pretty nice. Right, okay, that's him. His call is very, very, very valuable. We're talking like 40 billion at least, I think. So, should you get one, then congrats. I did not, unfortunately, but yeah, I was really expecting to get one. Firelord Soldier Cults, as I've stated before, pretty good. Right, okay, we're up to level 40 now. So we're about halfway, since I usually go about 80 when I solo. If you're in a party, you can probably go higher pretty easily, because you'll have access to maybe like a priest or... this floor is just, there's nothing here, literally. I mean, it's cabins. Aside from looking hysterically funny, they don't really do anything useful. Like, whoever designed this mob should get some form of award. I mean, it just looks just hysterical. Same thing here. Nothing really interesting. Sandman cards have a use because they turn your armor into earth property. But no real value either. Well, nothing to speak of anyway. There's some Ruffle Redicons, which I suppose would be decent to pick up. And Ruffle Luniums as well. But yeah, Backslide is definitely a friend here as a GX. It's probably one of the best skills in my opinion, just overall. It can save your life and it can help you go further up. There we go. Right. Same thing here, Sidewinder card, that's pretty much it. I mean, there's some Venom Canines, I guess, but nothing worth mentioning, to be honest, sadly enough. I mean, you can get some, like, XP, I suppose, but aside from that, Strawberry, I guess. Right. Oh wait, shit, sorry, I forgot one. Where? Oh, right, okay. Some of these floors have mobs that doesn't really aggro, which can be a pain. It's only in the beginning though, after like level 50 it gets better. Right, Ygberries, and they do, oh my god, they do that funny effect where your screen turns upside down. That's pretty much it, Ygberries for this floor. All the cards are just, there's no real use for them, unfortunately. I mean, anecdotal uses, I suppose, or niche uses, but no real value to be found either. Just one of these filler levels, I guess. Doesn't really do much. Right. So next level is Osiris. I'm just gonna double check this before I say anything else. If there are mummies and shit here. Yes, there are. Okay, so this is Osiris. It doesn't really break anything, doesn't really do much. Make sure your armor is like undead. Would probably be a good idea because it does do poison and stuff like that. Enchant your weapon with fire. Outside of that, his card isn't really super interesting. I mean, it's an MVP card, so obviously it's worth some money. Immortal Halts here is very good to pick up, I would say. Because they have... there's also Rotten Bandages, for those who want that. Let's see, where is Osiris? Here we go, standing right there. He does do Stone Curse, apparently. And he does do Agi Up later on if he gets to that point, but he didn't, so... That's him. It's pretty easy to kill. Didn't drop anything. You can also drop a 2-slotted Chakram, which is a pretty decent starter weapon for an assassin, should you need that, but I'm guessing you should have something better by this point if you're doing ET. Well, I mean, you could be doing it with a group, I suppose. Then... But yeah, Rotten Bandages are worth picking up as well. I'm not because I'm lazy, but it's definitely worth picking up and selling to other players. Alright, and I'm missing 2 mobs. Right. Let's see, what do we have on this level? Alright, okay, so these are a giant pain in the ass. They, not only do they knock you back, but they also burn your SP, and they dispel you. They do drop prickly fruits. It's called prickly fruits, right? Prickly fruits. These fruits can be used by genetics to create items, so people want to buy them. Aside from that, don't do what I'm doing right now because it's going to burn your entire SP bar, most likely. This is not a do what I'm doing, this is a listen to what I'm saying right now. Because doing what I just did, I was about to waste an Ig barrier doing this. Mainly because, I don't know, just trying to make it go a little bit faster, I guess. Witch Star Sand is pretty good, again, stuff you could loot. all the stuff around them first, because these materials, they will loot your, like, if something drops, the materials will loot it. So I would recommend killing everything before you go for the MVPs, if you can. Amon-Ra doesn't actually move, so yeah. Okay, here's Pharaoh. Let's see if we can get him away from everything else. He does have some ads. Nothing needs any real attention though, but he'll die pretty fast, I say. No real problem here. Alright, for Amon-Ra you want to wear fire armor, because he does cast fire, sorry, not Firestorm, Meteor Storm, that's the one. Right, I'm going to be clearing out the materials before I kill Amon-Ra, mainly because I don't wish, just in case his card was to drop, they might loot it just like the thief bugs and then it will be lost in the loot table, and well, I'm not really interested in that. Let's see if we kill everything. Yes, we have. Right, so he's also weak against fire, ironically enough. Just go up to him, smack him on the ass, and then just go like that. He drops Ygberries as well as a fragment of Rosetta Stone. I'm not really sure what it's used for, but you could loot it, I guess. I mean, I'm not going to bother. But aside from that, Ygberries are always welcome. They're worth about 500 mil each, and they're very, very useful. Right, that was level 50. Right. Diabolical card. It's decent. Sorry, mini demon, not diabolical. Mini demon card. It has some value. I think it's like 20 mil or something, because it gives an added EXP in boots from, I want to say demon monsters. I'm going to say I believe it's demon monsters, but I'm not 100% sure on that. A little bit of a pain in the ass because they shoot you around like this, but nothing with any real threat anyway. What floor is this? Right, okay, these will knock you back, silence you, do all kinds of nonsense. Drop-wise, Bloody Butterfly card is probably the only thing that is actually decent here. Everything else is just absolute nonsense. But even then, that card doesn't really have any specific value. I mean, we're talking like 10-15 mil maybe, I think. So I mean, for some people that might actually be a lot of money, but I'm just saying it's not a 100 mil card. Right. I do apologize about talking a lot, but I am trying to do this as an informative thing for people that don't know. So again, you're welcome to just mute me if you just want to watch. Alright. Window Vador, pretty useful. Nothing useful here, at all. They do hurt quite a bit though, so be careful with that. These can break your stuff. No interesting loots whatsoever, unfortunately. I mean, there's gift boxes and all that, but card-wise, no. Nothing that actually has any real value. Which is a shame, but... Right, okay, level 55 is Evil Snake Lord. Now he will freeze you and he will do magma break, so I would recommend just wearing a armor that is unfrozen, because if you wear an element you'll take extra damage from the other element. So unfrozen is fine. You need a converter because you cannot hit him without an element. You will actually just miss. So any element is fine as long as it's not neutral. I mean, if you can, then ghost, but yeah, I don't think there's a ghost converter. Drop wise, basically it's his card. I would like, that's pretty much all you can drop that is of any interest whatsoever. There we go, yeah, he's trying to freeze me. I'm doing about 30k to him per... And he's dead. He does drop Ig berries as well. Just assuming is there any card? None that I can see anyway. He did drop a sword for me. I'm not really sure what sword this is. It's... oh, right, okay, it's nothing interesting. That's my bad. Right, moving on. I mean, there's Sidewinder as well, I suppose, like I've stated before, but... it has some uses, but no super value anyway. I'm sure we're like an Aqua Olmo preferably on this level, because unfrozen at the very least. Otherwise this might happen. These mobs, they hurt. No real drops here as well. So just kill them and move on. Level 57. Okay, this is the one with the points. There's Angeling, there's Deviling. Now, Angeling card is about 100 mil. You should pull these away when you kill them, mainly for the fact that they will all start looting each other should you kill one of them near the others. So you want to do something along these lines, what I'm doing right here. Jesus. Right. Apparently he will get me down. Just make sure you kill all the porings that gets near anything that you've killed, because otherwise a card might disappear right into the rest of the porings. There's also Archangeling, which can heal himself should you not be able to kill him fast enough. There's also Ghost Ring, which you used to be able to need something to detect him to be able to kill him, but I believe that might have been changed, so you can hit him while he's stealthed like this. Hang on. I'm not sure. Or you can just... what a brilliant thing. Right. That was my mistake, you still need an element to hit him. Right. So you need to be able to unhide him somehow with either, you can use Phantom Menace for assassins, you can use Demonic Fire for genetics, you can use Magnum Break for swordman classes, and so on. I'm pretty sure there's other classes. All Acolyte class can use Ruvach or whatever it's pronounced to detect hidden, anything that detects hidden monsters basically. Alright, outside of the mini bosses, no real loot. I mean, mastering, yeah, but his card is nothing to... no real value there either. So apparently there's still one mob here somewhere that I have not yet killed. I think it might be down here. No? Okay. Right, okay. Level 58. Nothing interesting on this level at all. Some EXP, they don't really do much. No real miscellaneous loot either, to be honest. The zombie prisoner card, I suppose, has some value, but not much. Absolutely nothing on this level. Sorry, that's my mistake. There's light granules. You can sell it to Rune Knights, who will be doing things with it for their what's it called? Oh my goodness, for their runes. Sorry, I should have been more awake when I'm doing this. It was requested, so I oblige. Level 60. Oh god. Now if I'm not mistaken, this will be the bio one. Yes, okay. So this level has Ignium Senia, which is a MVP in Biolabs. It also has Doppelganger. You need to be very careful here, because these mobs, they will kill you. You want to be wearing Fire Armor against Ignium Senia, but at the same time you don't. And you want to use Water Converter on these mobs. But if you get Doppelganger, you want to be wearing Evil. So try to pull the mobs one at a time like this. Because if you get all of them, unless you're absurdly geared, you will die. Like, they will cast all kinds of nonsense on you, and it will be very painful. Like, if you can, even be a chicken and do what I'm doing right now. Because this is not something, like, you don't want to just rush in here and get all of them. And you can, but I really would not recommend it if you want to live. So I just played safe. I might say I'm doing this a little bit too careful, but I've actually accidentally pulled all of these mobs, and it is... well, it is a death sentence, it really is. Right, okay, here she is. That is the MVP for sure. Like, it must be. I mean, I'm not 100% sure, but it should be. Now, you don't want to get all of these with Doppel as well, because he's also up there with his nightmares, you can see him. Okay, that was a Doppelganger. Right. Okay, there's a Doppelganger, let's see if we can kill him first. Let's see if you can kill him really fast, because he could kill you otherwise. He hurts all. Okay, he's down. Right, okay. Let's remove the Agi down, switch over to Fire Armor, and go back to Water Converter. I basically switched to Fire Converter for him, and Evil Armor that was indestructible. For Doppelganger, that is. So I'm switching back right now. Okay, it should only be Senia left, which means that it's that one right there. Yeah, she'll try to remove my shield, but she won't really, because I don't have one. I'm doing 25k per spin, which is not bad. She does dodge a little bit. Now you could use Hallucination Walk here if you want to. Drop-wise, your card is okay, I guess, but it's not, for some reason people like it. I don't personally like it, but... let's see, what did she drop? Nothing interesting really. Alright, okay, that's level 60 done, moving on. Switching back to Deviling. I removed my Deviling for last level, by the way, because they spam so many different types of skills. Deviling would just kill me. Right, switching back to my main weapon. Now after this, a lot of mobs here, like on this floor, Mobster Card is pretty valuable, like 50 mil. That's probably the most valuable thing on this level. Pasana Card is actually pretty valuable as well, but it's actually more valuable, so scratch what I said. Pasana Card would be the most valuable, followed by Mobster. Pasana would be maybe 80, and Mob still be maybe 50. The other cards are kind of though. Alright, they can drop old card albums, and if they drop a sword, it's a Masamune, whatever it's called. So, but aside from that, their card is pretty crappy, and they drop skulls that you can sell to other players, I guess. Same with the Oida coins. Let's see, which one is this? There's some decent stuff here. You can get Olean stuff, and you can get what's it called? Zombie Prisoner card. But it's basically only Olean stuff, like Olean's robe and Olean's necklace, that's in use, combined with the Zombie Prisoner cards. Skull bones, yeah, I guess. But you use fire converters here because they're undead. They are ranged, so they can be a bit of a pain. But not too bad. One more level and then we have another MVP. Mini bosses, their card is so nothing super exciting. Makes you immune to bleeding, which I mean it's not a bad card, but I don't really see it as super high valuable anyway. Alright, next MVP up is Atros. If I'm not mistaken, he is weak to armor. Sorry, water, not armor. What the hell? Right. No, he's not actually. Only holy or normal attacks. So unless you have holy, go normal attacks. He does not really. He casts Magnum Break. He does not destroy anything, so you should wear fire armor and no element unless you have holy. I would recommend something like weapon block or whatever. Keep in mind, if you're ranged and you attack him, he puts up defensive aura, which basically reduces all damage you deal by.
Hey, wake up!
Sorry about that. Right, okay. So, there's some Galio cards are decent as well. Atros card is not really that valuable. It's a couple of billion. He does hit pretty fast, so... Right, and I have the wrong weapon on me. My bad. There we go. It does drop Ugg berries as well. And he starts hitting me really fast right now. And this is with Deviling, by the way. Yeah, he drops Ugg berries, as I said. Which is probably, like, aside from his card, probably the only thing that's actually useful. These mobs are aggressive though, so you can just backslide your way up here. And they will follow you. Sorry, there we go. Incubus called. They can also drop a pet taming item, which is pretty decent. But aside from that, it's nothing too interesting really. Aliot cards are not really that interesting. And I mean, white herbs can be sold to other players. But yeah, if you get the taming item, okay, or as I said, Incubus card. That's pretty decent. Oh god, okay, so Mutant Dragonoid card, keep in mind, like, be careful there, don't do what I'm doing right now, unless you know that you're able to do it, because they can start hurting a lot, because they spam spells. Fire armor is pretty decent here, because they're all fire based, more or less. Drop wise, nothing too interesting really. There's some junk drops, but nothing super exciting. There's a book. You can drop a Qatar here, which is pretty decent, I guess. Involves scale. Nothing on this level whatsoever. I mean, calls will always be calls, but nothing of value. 69. Yeah, be careful with these as well. They do hurt a lot. Because these all cast spells. I'm wearing Deviling right here, you should not. Because it will hurt just a lot. Because it amplifies all magic damage taken by 50%. Which is, well, not really that nice. Right, okay. So, there's one more mob somewhere. Yeah, right. I believe this level is Baphomet and Darklord. I could be wrong though. Yeah. Oh no, it's the Orcs. Okay, it's Orc Lord and Orc Hero. Hang on. Right. Orc Hero, you can use fire enchant, like fire weapon basically. Same against Orc Lord. So you use fire converter. Armor wise, it doesn't really matter too much, since they're like the main thing you need to watch out for is the earthquake, but they should be dead within that time anyway. So they're pretty weak overall. Like Orc Hero, I don't actually believe it does damage. Literally, like just observe this. Okay. Do like this. I mean, he does strip your armor, but he doesn't actually appear to be doing any real damage, and he just dies in seconds, so I'm not really gonna bother mentioning him because he's just so weak. Orc Lord, however, fire converter, and watch out for his earthquake. It's not super lethal, and you can use mercenary or a pet to cut the damage in half, because the more people getting hit by it, the less damage it will do, and pets are counted as a person. So you use fire converter and see if you can get this guy to come down, and if you can't burn him down really fast, hit him and then basically try to run away as he casts earthquake, because the earthquake is it's a little bit painful. It's not super scary, but it is a little bit painful. There we go, he's dead. He drops a mace, which is an Alder mace. Other players will want it, or you can keep it if you're an alchemist. It's a pretty decent weapon. His call has some value as well. But yeah, otherwise Orcish Vouchers and so forth. Right. Okay. Alright, level 17. Incubus and Succubus cards are pretty good. Aside from that, there's no real drops here though. You'd want to use a fire converter to be able to kill everything pretty effectively. Alright, plus 71. I've gotten like 10-15% there at 172. Keep in mind we do have a no penalty. Okay, here you need to be very careful because they will heal each other and they will try to kill you, and yeah, they will cast Phenimas and they will silence and they will do all kinds of nonsense, so don't try to AoE pull these. If you do get a drop in form of a staff from the Margaleta Sulins, that is a recovery of light staff, I believe, which is pretty good. It might be recovery stuff. Yeah, it might actually be recovery stuff. The point is, it's pretty valuable and it's pretty good. But maximum 1 or 2 of these at a time, unless, because as you just saw, I lost a lot of health in one go. There's Will of Warrior as well, which is, I'm not really sure what it's used for, but do know that it is used in something, so there is value to it. Shit, I forgot the EDP. Right. But yeah, just careful, slowly, and you should be able to. There's only like 10 Margaleta Sulins, but if you pull all of them, like I'm doing right now, the ones I still have, it could turn into a bad day because they're just gonna spam heal themselves and they will silence you, which is why you need green potions. And they can actually Holy Light you, which does hurt quite a bit. So outside of that, it's Enchanted Peach Tree card, Will of Warrior. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Still have one more. God. They're such a nuisance. Right, okay. 73. And this is, okay, Alice cards are actually the most valuable thing on this level. These ones, the blue, not to be confused with these Alisa. They're two very different things. Alice card will reduce damage taken from MVPs by 40%. Alisa, I don't remember what that does, I just know it's not as good. Succubus card is pretty valuable too. Not as valuable though, but it still has some value. Yeah. Neither of those two are aggressive, but it looks like a little cleaning lady thing sort of deal going on. Succubus card, obviously. The rest, fairly uninteresting. But you never know. Right. Absolutely no drops here. Be very careful though, they do hurt a lot and they will always hit more or less because their hit rate is sky high. You might be tricked into thinking that Deviling is a good idea on this floor. It's not, because they all use elemental attacks. So don't do that. Raedric would be better. Right, okay, so this one is Baphomet and Dark Lord. Now this is a problem. Dark Lord can put your health to 1, and it calls Meteor Storms, you need Fire Armor. Baphomet casts Lord of Vermilion, which needs Sephiroth Armor for, and he casts Earthquake, which is insta-death. He does not have a lot of health, Baphomet that is, and Dark Lord also breaks your helm, sorry. So we're gonna try to get one of them at a time. Now Baphomet is weak to Holy, otherwise it's neutral, and Dark Lord is weak to Fire or Holy, and you cannot hit him with neutral. I believe you can't hit him with neutral anyway. So what we're going to do is we're going to change our Deviling Armor, and we're gonna keep the Fire Armor on, because Baphomet, the only thing that's scary about him is basically his Earthquake. But his health is pretty low, 668k. So we're gonna try to do this, enchant Deadly Poison. We will see what we can. Sweet, Baphomet is first up, okay. Well, this is good, this is actually really good. Oh, and he got me, but I'm gonna resurrect. Alright. I was not fast enough to get out. Okay, he's down. If you were faster than me there, you wouldn't have died. Right, okay, so it's just Dark Lord now. Just use Fire Window, or Fire Converter. As a Dark Lord can destroy your helm, but since I'm at the end of my run anyway, it doesn't really matter, because I will usually stop after this level. So that's basically where I go when I do this on my GX. So, I'm gonna do this, and just switch over to this helm, because when he will IG up, by the way, so you will have to auto-attack him. Like, he's going to IG up any second here now. Yeah. And he gets fast, it's really fast. Okay. He should be dead any second. Right, okay. No interesting drops. Alright. I will actually clear a few more floors, but that's all the MVPs I will be doing. The reason for this is because on the next floors there is Abysmal Knights and shit like that, which is... I mean, I might as well if I'm here. Yeah, like this, I did die once, which is unfortunate, but dying to an insta-death earthquake is... it's not bad, I'd say. Right, okay. So, that marks the end of this run. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope it was educational in some way. Best of luck. If you have any questions, you can just ask me directly. Thank you.